Yo, what's good, collective? This your boy P.A.T, aka Mr. Metamaid, and welcome back to P.A.T YouTube channel. I'll have more content coming on here pretty soon. All right, but right now we're gonna start with sun signs. All right, I'm rebooting through the channel and going through sun signs, and we're starting at the top with Sun and Aries. So if you got Sun and Aries in your birth chart, this video is for you. All right, what's going on when you recognize you have Aries Sun in your birth chart. All right. First of all, what is Aries? All right. Aries is, first of all, the first zodiac, typically associated as the first zodiac out of the 12. All right. Which means typically you guys will want to be first at things. You may be good initiators. You may be good starters at things. All right. And a lot of people may depend on you for initiation, for starting things, getting things going. You may be a good source of motivation to your friends and family. All right, and you may be very ambitious. All right. Now the thing about Aries and with them being first is a lot of times they could get caught up in competitiveness. All right. They could get caught up in ego and comparison, comparing themselves to the next individual or measuring their achievement by someone else's bar of achievement. So with Aries suns, you want to watch for that. All right. Now, sun in astrology represents number one, it can represent your father figures or relationship with your father. And with it in the sign of Aries, it could represent a very dynamic relationship with your father, possibly on the more, intense side. All right. As Aries energy even is ruled by the planet Mars. All right. And Mars is also co-ruler with Pluto in the sign of Scorpio. So Mars will bring that same intensity from Scorpio kind of over to Aries a bit. All right. And this could bring an intense relationship between you and your father. All right. It could have been one where your dad may have been very hands-on. He could have been very vocal and verbal. And in some cases, he probably could have even been verbally abrasive with you. In some cases, he possibly even could have been inconsistent with you, as Aries can get a knack for lack of follow through in a lot of cases. All right. So he could have been a dad that, hey, I'm going to take you for ice cream and didn't fall through as much or, didn't go as planned, that sort of thing there. All right. Also, with Aries placements, especially Aries sun, you possibly could have been somebody that could have been a witness to violence at a young age. Sun represents offspring in astrology. It also can represent some of your experiences as an offspring, as a young offspring of your parents. All right. And with Aries here, you could have been somebody who experienced, possible scenes of violence or intensity at a young age. All right. And this could either be from, something, kind of, on a more acceptable side, like if your dad was an MMA fighter, all right, you may have experienced, fighting and different things like that, or a boxer. All right, if your dad was a boxer or a competitive athlete, you may have seen that type of display growing up, or it just could have been a thing where your dad may not had a occupation like that, but just could have displayed that in his behavior. All right, could have been very temperamental, could have been very moody, but nevertheless could have been very protective of you. Could have been could have been very motivational. Probably didn't wasn't a fan of you like loafing around and different things like that. Really pushed you to keep going and get things going and really create steam. Not really a fan of sitting around and different things like that. So your father possibly could have been restless, or you guys may have could have had a restless relationship, like just a lot of back and forth, like it's good, then it's bad, it's good, then it's bad, or just a lot of twists and turns. All right. Now, Sun also represents business in astrology, and with Sun and Aries, you're somebody. With it being the first zodiac, you can be, uh, an entrepreneur. You can be somebody that's, made, self-made or self-proclaimed, self-acclaimed in their career. All right, as an Aries Sun, or you could be somebody that can go into transportation, like, Uber, Amazon, those type of like delivery or passenger ride share services, different things like that. Or as an Aries sun, you can even be somebody that could go into like criminal justice, like taking criminal justice courses, going into, possibly being a lawyer or even an officer of enforcement. All right, with Aries sun. Aries is looking at the sign of Libra. So this represents a soul contract when Sun looks at the opposite sign. And with a soul contract in the sign of Libra, it could represent a soul contract of mediation and moderation of expression. All right. Sun represents expression. Libra represents mediation, moderation. All right. So here, a soul contract to, really modify yourself and not fall victim to like full displays of anger or emotionalism and just irrational, displays of anger and emotions or whatnot. Also, not falling victim to impulsivity and different things like that, as Aries can fall victim to impulsivity as subject of Mars. All right. So yeah, that's soul contract, and then also Libra represents partnerships. It represents marriage. So yes, you will have a soul contract with partnerships, learning to merge your ego with another one, not so much someone coming into your world and finding a place with them, but you bringing your world, you guys bringing two worlds together. All right, so that means some things have to get kind of squished out along the way for it to lock in. All right, and with Aries placement, sometime, especially if debilitated, you could possibly come off as selfish to your partner. You could possibly come off as a bit indulged as your partner and a bit dull to their affections and desires and whatnot. All right. So you want to watch for that as well. All right. All right. This has been my video on Sun and Aries in the birth chart. Stay tuned for more here on Astro Pat YouTube channel. Namaste.